What if the person you trust with your paycheck is secretly stealing from you? Welcome to WidgetWhiz, where even the quirkiest office hides big secrets. Let's crack the case. If you enjoy unraveling mysteries and learning with us, subscribe and support for more educational videos. It all started when I, a freelance forensic consultant with a knack for sniffing out financial shenanigans, got a call from a small but quirky company called WidgetWhiz, makers of glow-in-the-dark widgets nobody really needed but everybody wanted. The CEO, a nervous guy named Marvin, sounded like he just found a spider in his coffee. "We're bleeding money and we don't know why," he squeaked.
Can you help?
I rolled into their office with my trusty laptop, a thermos of coffee strong enough to wake a coma patient, and my favorite fedora, because nothing says I'm here to catch a crook like a good hat. The office was a circus, mismatched furniture, a receptionist named Babs, who knitted scarves for her pet iguana, and a payroll manager named Sheila, who wore so much perfume it could double as tear gas. Marvin handed me a stack of financial records thicker than a phone book from 1995.
Something's off, he said, wringing his hands.
Our payroll expenses keep climbing, but we haven't hired anyone new since we got that intern who keeps microwaving fish. I dove into the numbers like a kid into a ball pit. At first, everything looked normal, boring even. But then, buried in the payroll data, I spotted it. Sheila's paycheck was fatter than a Thanksgiving turkey. Over 3 years, she'd been quietly overpaying herself, siphoning off $100,000 in tiny, sneaky increments. It was clever, like a squirrel hiding nuts for a winter that never comes. To confirm my suspicions, I cross-referenced her pay stubs with the company's bank statements. Bingo. Sheila was adding bonuses to her checks labeled things like overtime for widget polishing or emergency stapler acquisition. WidgetWhiz didn't even have staplers. They used paper clips shaped like tiny widgets. I ran a quick audit trail and the numbers screamed louder than Babs's iguana when it missed its scarf-fitting appointment. But catching an embezzler isn't just about numbers, it's about flair. So I hatched a plan. I asked Marvin to call an all-hands meeting, claiming it was for a team-building exercise. Everyone gathered in the break room where I'd rigged a projector to display my findings. Sheila sat in the back, fanning herself with a payroll report, probably thinking she was slicker than a greased widget. "Ladies and gentlemen," I began, tipping my fedora for effect. Today's team-building exercise is called Spot the Embezzler. The room gasped. Babs dropped her knitting needles. The intern choked on his fish-scented burrito. I clicked the projector and up popped a chart showing Sheila's inflated paychecks, complete with her creative expense labels like late-night widget whispering. Sheila's face turned redder than a defective glow-in-the-dark widget.
"This is outrageous," she sputtered. I was just compensating myself for emotional labor."
"Emotional labor?" I said, raising an eyebrow. "Unless you're crying over paper clips, Sheila. You've been skimming $100,000 over 3 years. I slid a printout across the table like a detective in a cheesy noir film. Care to explain stapler acquisition?"
Not so fast, he said. You're fired and we're calling the cops.
As Sheila was escorted out, still clutching her payroll report like a security blanket, the office gave me a round of applause. Babs offered me a custom iguana scarf. I politely declined. Marvin shook my hand so hard I thought my arm would glow in the dark. "You saved WidgetWhiz," he said. "How can we repay you?" I tipped my fedora again. "Just keep making those widgets nobody needs, and maybe invest in a stapler." And so I walked out into the sunset, or at least the parking lot, knowing I'd caught the sneakiest payroll bandit this side of Widgetville. Another case closed, another fedora well worn.